and my X-Day project is about gardening on Mars. So here today, I'm going to be showing you a step-by-step instruction guide on how to survive by farming on Mars, and I'm going to simulate the experience as much as possible. Here we go!
So I'm just starting off with a disclaimer. This is not the most accurate guide out on the market. I was just trying to simulate what it might be like on gardening on Mars. It isn't possible to garden on Mars right now because of perchlorates, which is kind of like bleach in the soil that would harm the plants. But the atmosphere of Mars does have the right nutrients in order for us to make our plants healthy. But in order to even start planting on Mars, we need a controlled environment like this one because of its harsh conditions, which you can read more about in my article. So first, I'm just starting off with one of my old lavender pots. Normally you would grow and garden in ground, but I'm using my pot today. Because of the in-ground soil, you would normally need a shovel, but I am not doing a shovel. I'm not doing in-ground gardening, so I'm using my trowel. You will also need water, and I'm also using salt and food coloring.
So next, I'm just going to mix some food coloring in with my salt.
So I'm using salt to try to simulate the sand on Mars, or the sand-like soil on Mars, as much as possible because they're very alike. They're both very gritty, sandy, porous textures, and they also are very well-drained soil. And I'm just adding the food coloring to make it that famous rust color that you see on Mars normally. So I was actually struggling to get the salt out, so I had to open the bottom of the box in order to get all the salt out quickly. So this is the salt. So now I'm just adding some red and yellow food coloring, as you can see. And this was kind of a process. It took a while for me to mix up all the food coloring evenly. But here is what we got. Look at that. Nice and perfect. So normally you would add your feces as a fertilizer on Mars, but since I'm not doing that, I'm just adding some old soil from a leftover plant, mixing it in so your plants on Mars can get that good nutrients that they need and that they're missing. Guys, it smelled so bad.
So now it's time to put on as many clothes as possible so I can simulate being in a spacesuit on Mars.
So as I was saying earlier, I'm just trying to wear multiple layers and some of my heaviest clothes in order to simulate what it would be like in a spacesuit on Mars. So I'm wearing 3 layers of shirts, 3 layers of pants, and my big boots. And I can't forget my space hat. So now I'm just going inside into my controlled environment to grow my plants after I've collected my soil. And you want to make sure you close the door behind you because you don't want to expose your plants to the harsh temperatures on Mars. So this is me using my trowel to dig a hole 3 inches deep. Try to do it 3 inches deep. Here's a close-up of me digging my hole. I also have some plant food. I don't know if you saw it in the background, but there's some plant food in the background for your plants. I was using avocado seed, but you would normally use something like cabbage or plant a plant like cabbage instead of avocado. Not very habitable on the Mars planet. But here's just me putting my seed inside of the pot. And do not do what I just did just now. Do not use your trowel to pack down the soil. That will damage your seed. Do not do that. I'm also adding my water. But normally you would either use your water from Mars. You would get it from microwaving the underground ice on Mars because there's not any above ground water or ice that's available. Or you can use the explosion method that Mark Watney did in the blockbuster film The Martian, but it's not very good for your health. Also, I was exploring options with you turning urine into water. Lots of NASA scientists have been trying to make machines like this, and the leftover waste from your urine can be used as fertilizer for your plants. So just in closing, I wanted to show you guys some videos of my real plant garden on Earth. And I really hoped you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I loved doing the process, and I thought it was a really fun way to learn about life on Mars and how it might be.
Anyway, I just want to say thank you so much. I had so much fun doing this project, really enjoyed myself, and I hope you guys learn a lot about gardening on Mars.